charter flight business. It was almost as if an invisible hand had granted every wish she had ever had in one magical sweep. She had so many ideas about what she wanted to do with her new venture that she could hardly sleep at night. She ran her gaze around the wood and glass interior of the cockpit. The repairs and improvements that had been made to the Water Lily were superb. Marsh had insisted on installing brand-new navigational instruments and a state-of-the-art balloon gas relay system. She had protested, but he had been adamant. She was secretly thrilled, though. In fact, one would never have thought the Water Lily had been riddled with bullet holes and dangerously close to being scrapped just months before. "Bought with his money, not yours," the voices whispered to her. "Oh, do be quiet, you old crones," Elle spoke out loud. The voices who spoke were the spirit of the oracle, an amalgamation of fragments from the souls from each woman who had, over the centuries, held the position. Elle knew that when she died, a little part of her would rise up to join them too. And as much as she hated the fact that they were always watching her, it gave her comfort to know that somewhere within that patchwork of souls that made up the nebula she came to know as the voice of the oracle was a bit of the mother she never knew. It was just a pity that they were such a bunch of busybodies who always chose to interfere at the most inopportune times. "Never forget who you are, child," the voices said in answer to her thoughts. Yes, I am the oracle, the source of wisdom, the one with the gift of sight, the force that holds the many folds of the universe together, the one who channels power to those who are deserving." She recited the mantra they had taught her in a bored, sing-song voice. "Trust me, if there is one thing I cannot do, it's forget who I am. Now please, leave me alone to enjoy this moment, would you? Today I am flying, and I want none of this oracle business spoiling it." "As you wish." The voices faded away. Just then, the communications console started rattling and spitting out a ribbon of tape, clearing her for landing. Elle brought the airship round portside and lined her up, ready to dock at one of the platforms that lined the docks on the Western District. With a shudder and hiss that sounded almost like a sigh of contentment, the Water Lily berthed. "There you go, my dear," Elle said to her ship as she turned the crank handle that released the tether ropes. "All safe and sound." Almost as if in answer to that, one of the boiler tank pressure release valves opened to release some engine pressure. Elle opened the hatch and let the ladder rope drop to the ground. With practiced ease, she climbed down and stepped onto the wooden docking platform. "Miss Chance, I presume?" A tall man with a shock of white blonde hair that was thinning at the top waved at her. "Ah, Mr. De Beer," she smiled at him. "Welcome to the fair city of Amsterdam." He spoke in an accent that was a touch heavy and rounded on the vowels. "Thank you. It's so nice to finally meet you," she said as she shook her new Dutch docking agent's huge hand vigorously. "And the same to you," he said graciously. "It is an honor to be working with the famous Elle Chance." Elle didn't have the heart to correct him on her new surname. Simply being Elle Chance for the day, not Lady Eleanor or Viscountess Greychester, was a bit of a relief, if she was honest with herself. She loved her husband, Hugh, with all her heart, but the pomp and ceremony involved in becoming part of his world over the last few months had been more than a little overwhelming. "I have the papers ready here to sign if you will. Once it is completed, I will tell the men to start loading the freight. I have told them to be extra careful with our precious tulips." Mr. De Beer pointed to the crates of bulbs that were stacked on wooden pallets and tied down with coarse rope. They were indeed ready to be loaded into the hull and destined